It can be confusing deciding which cards to use in Uma.Musume. With TrackBlazer upending the meta from the Unity Cup, players are asking how deck building has changed. Is it really as simple as just maxing out your race bonus? Or perhaps not. I'm here to give you a guide on how the Uma.Musume meta has shifted and what cards you should be using to get the best Umas you can in TrackBlazer. Let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to be talking about today is race bonus. For those that don't know, race bonus is a direct multiplier on the amount of stats you get from races as well as the skill points you get from races. So if all of the cards in your deck add up to 50 race bonus, you're going to get 50% more stats, 50% more skill points. So there's a couple breakpoints that we need to hit. So what everybody should really consider is 50 is the lowest you want to go. 40 is like bare minimum. Like 40 is you need to hit 40, but 50 should be like 50 should be the standard. 60 if you can do it, really good because you're going to be getting extra stats, extra race bonuses. Because the numbers are quite small, you do need to get like the jumps of 10, right? There's certain breakpoints. That's why everybody's saying get 50, get 60. What about high race bonuses like say 70? It's nice to have, but it's the difference between 70 and 60, you're still going to be pretty good off either way. And so the natural question people are going to ask then, are cards with zero race bonus dead? Pretty much, right? It's really hard to use zero race bonus cards now, like Tazana, just because you're losing so many stats. What about 5 race bonus cards? Not necessarily. So remember that the goal that we needed to hit was 60. So if we want to take a 5 race bonus card, we can just take a 15 race bonus card, pair it together, and then we can still pretty easily hit 60. Generally, the standard we're going to be aiming for, though, is 10 race bonus on all our cards. If a card has 10 race bonus, that is what we are going to consider using. However, there's another stat which many people aren't talking about, which I think has also become very important in TrackBlazer, and that stat is initial friendship bonus. Now hold on a sec. Why would this become so important? So the way that we're training in TrackBlazer now is that we don't have a lot of training turns, and generally our year 1 goals are just to maximize our friendship. So if we're running 6 friendship cards, that's 480 total friendship we need to reach in order to get everybody to Rainbow. 80 times 60, 80 is friendship, right? So if we have 25 initial friendship on all of our cards and we times that by 6, we're going to start off with 150. If instead we had a deck where everybody started at 35, we'd start off at 210. It doesn't sound like much of a difference. There's actually a difference of 60, right? If we're doing a free friendship stack training, we're raising everybody's friendship by 15, right? So that's 4 turns of free friendship training just by including higher initial friendship cards in the deck. So I think this is really strong. Even if we were like doing 4 friendship stack training and getting 20 training per turn, that still puts the 25 deck 3 turns behind the 35 deck. And if you want to compare it to something else, a barbecue's worth 30, so just having 10 initial friendship higher on all of your cards is worth 2 barbecues worth of friendship, which is a really weird metric. But yeah, so I think initial friendship gauge is going to be really helpful for actually getting people to Rainbows Before Summer, because I know a lot of people are struggling with that right now, where it's just, it makes it hard. So with that in consideration, we are going to get into the cards by tier now. So looking at the list of speed cards, we have Intia at the top. No surprises there. I think everybody expected her to be the best speed card, and she's really got it all. She's got a 10% race bonus. She does have 15 initial friendship, but that's not really the worst thing in the world. It's pretty easy to get her friendship up. So just because she has like the highest stat gain out of any of the cards, she just gets the A rank. And then what surprised me, Matakana Fukukataru, I thought this card would do a lot better. So the main bonus of this card is that it helps you win the early races, which isn't really that hard to do in the first place. And I'm not saying she's a bad card. She has the potential to high roll really high, and energy management is a real big issue in this scenario. So she does help on that regard, but I don't think she's quite on the same tier as the Top Brood. Now, the next card, Kita Sound Black. People saying this card was going to die. It's not really actually dead. It's still a very good card. You do need to balance her out. She has 5% race bonus, which is an issue, but you can take a card with 15, and then that just negates the downside of her, and still Kita Sound Black. She's still an amazing stat stick, and she has a good gold skill, unlike all of the cards that are really competing with her on her level. Professor of Curvature is still a really good skill. Now, The placement of the next two cards I thought a lot about. I think Bakushin is slightly better than Biko Pegasus here, ever so slightly. These cards do go back and forth a lot, but for me, Biko is better as like an all-round card. But what her issue is in this scenario is that you don't get any friendship with her through her event chain, and although she starts with a good amount of initial friendship, I've had a few runs where she just hasn't rainbowed before summer. I've never had that issue with Bakushin because she starts with 40 initial friendship, which is actually ridiculous. So really, really easy to get rainbows on Bakushin, and I just value being able to get cards to rainbow really easily in this scenario, so I can actually get good summers. Because so many times you just get to summer and you haven't rainbowed, and it sucks. And then cards in B tier very quickly. So they are here because they have 10% race bonus. Apart from Toast and Jordan, she's just here because she's the most recent free-to-play card. So I know people would ask, where does she go? She goes at the bottom of B tier because Breath of Fresh Air is decent. She's not terrible as a stat stick, but only has 5% race bonus. And if you're going to take a 5% race bonus speed card, ideally it would be Black. Special Week is a bit weak. You know, she has really bad initial friendship. 10 is really low. We don't like that. Finka Wendy is the best of the SR speed cards, the only one that actually has 10 race bonus, so she is here for that reason. And, you know, as an SR card, makes it easier to get gold skills if you are bringing cards for gold skills, so that's always nice. Tokai Teo has a terrible gold skill in Russian Gale. It's completely RNG, so yeah, not really worth it. And then Gold City has a mile-based on Kenai. Yep, Kenai. We're not, you know, we're not really going to need this for mile, and everybody's going to be massively overcapping stamina for mile, so you're not going to need recoveries for mile, and stamina debuffs on miles are not going to be good, but 10% race bonus, lots of energy from her events, just like Tokotayo, so these ones are pretty good. And Kawakami Princess, 10% race bonus, high initial friendship, really nice, and to top it off, the gold skill is pretty good. Center stage will give you prudent positioning, and that's why we like it. We don't actually want to take center stage, we just want to take prudent positioning, unless we're like trying to pass it down or do team tower stuff. But for winning races, prudent positioning is better. So yeah, she is the last of the speed cards that I'd really recommend. So if you're looking to borrow anything in A tier, I'd probably recommend Narita Top Road the most. Kita-san Black is fine as borrow. Honestly, just make sure you're bringing a 15 card to balance her out, and she will be fine. And then Matsukane, I don't know. I feel like if you're doing a Guts deck or something, she'll be better, but as like an actual dedicated speed card in a more traditional deck, she's not doing quite as well, so yeah. Okay, so for stamina cards, Super Creek, number 1. She just gives you like everything that you'd want out of a stamina card still. I've explained it enough times, but those who don't know, she gives Swinging Maestro, which is best recovery in the game, so that's just what absolutely solidifies her top spot, and she's got a 10% race bonus, that's pretty nice. Sakura Chio has 15% race bonus, so welcome to S tier, Sakura Chio. Other than that, you know, she's okay as a card. She gives Speed Star, which you are probably going to get from Fine Motion, hopefully, so not really amazing, but she's just an S tier off of her race bonus, though. Stats otherwise that you're going to get from her training aren't going to be quite as high, but she, like I said, she just makes up for it. Race bonus is king. Race bonus is king, right? Narita Bryan, SSR, gives you a really good gold skill, so that's why she is at the front of A tier. I did think about A tier quite a lot. It was kind of hard to pin down, but A tier is going to go to her just because for some reason Kita-san's Professor of Curvature is good, V-Line Burst is good. It's very powerful generic gold skill. And then Tono Diamond kind of surprised me. I didn't think she was going to be so good, but she has the baseline 10% race bonus that all of these cards in this tier have. Her reason for being here is not her gold skill, which is crap. Her reason for being here is that she probably has the best event chain in the game. Gives you energy, and then you gamble on energy, and then you can, for a mere 10 energy, gain 40 stamina in one event. Oh my god, very, very busted. If you compare that to a race, which costs 20, and your expected value of a race is 40, twice as good as a race. You might be at 0 energy, in which case this is free, or you could take the energy event, but that last event in her chain is just, yeah, really, really strong. And then Manhattan Cafe, I'm going to talk about her at the same time as her SR card, because she's basically just a better version of her SR card. She gives you Stamina Siphon, so that's going to be very evil on long if you're building triple end. just use this and Super Creek as your 2 stamina cards. That gives you your recovery, and then you just take everybody else's stamina, and that's going to be ultra horrible for them. And she does give really big stamina training, so going to be very nice in summer. Big numbers, right? The bigger you can do your stamina training, better. The SR card has 10% race bonus. It's the only SR stamina card that does, so that's why it gets a spot on this tier list. So good job. Winning ticket. It's alright. Like it's got 10% race bonus and it has a speed skill for late surges, but it's a bit weaker than the other cards, but it's still worth talking about. And then same Sky. She's in B tier because of her race bonus only being 5%, but still a really, really good stat stick. Her specialty rate just is higher than every other card here, so she is at the bottom of B tier. You can make other stamina cards work that on this list, but this is, I'm just trying to do the ones which I think are going to be the most relevant. So, like the May Shade Dota we got, I think doesn't have any race bonus, so it's just like just don't run it. If a card's got 0 race bonus, don't run it. Anyway, onto the power cards. It's kind of the hardest one to actually make a tier list for. You can swap a lot of these around, like these aren't set in stone, but the two at the top are the two 15 race bonus cards. So Nishino Flower, I think, is probably like most people going to be the card that you would include because it gives you Charming, which is incredibly strong. Scenario, very, very strong because we don't get much chance to train friendship, and so that just makes it very nice. And she has +1 power, so it's actually a bit easier compared to Marvelous Sunday to max out your power using her. Marvelous Sunday, though, very nice for late surges, does give a gold skill for late surges. Helps her out a little bit, though her initial friendship is it's only 5 lower than Ishina Flowers, but can matter, can matter. As for like the A tier, this is just these are a bit more like you slot them when you need them. Tamamo Cross is a really good late surger one. You might in fact use if you were gonna borrow a card, you'd borrow Tamamo Cross over Marvelous Sunday, but just more people are gonna have these because like this came from an event and this is an SR, so weird in that the SR cards here you wouldn't borrow, but anyway. El Condor Passer, everybody was like, hey, you've got about this card. And it is a very good card, a 10% race bonus, and it gives a skill for medium, so very, very nice, very good card. Rice Shower, gives Swinging Maestro, that makes it relevant, and she has 10 race bonus, so she does pass the go test. So yeah, you can use Rice Shower if you need to get a recovery skill, and you're running like all stamina sparks, works. For front runners and for pace chasers, Smart Falcon's still going to be really good because she has high initial friendship with the 10% race bonus, which, like, all of these cards at least have 10% race bonus. Power is just, like, absolutely stacked for race bonus. But what's really nice as well is that she also gives center stage, which is going to give prudent positioning, which you're going to start seeing more of as people get, like, higher affinities and better sparks, and that's just going to be, like, a very good skill on your front runners and arguably on your pace chasers too, so don't discount it. And then we have Admire Vega or Ayabe. Daring Strike for Enclosers, very powerful skill for them. Yep, just basically pick whichever one matches your style, Late Surger, Pace Chaser, or Encloser. Matiki is a incredibly good card for giving you skills, and her gold skill is on. Very useful. We can't really get that so easily now that the Unicap is over, so she is here. And then Detsky Helios, probably not quite as good of a borrow as Smart Falcon for frontrunners, but she does give Escape Artist, which very powerful gold skill. So don't count her out. And then I just wanted to include in C tier all the 10% race bonus power cards. Ideally, you're going to be using the Sheena Flower instead of any of those, but those are all options for you instead. So looking at our options for Guts cards, we see quite a few free-to-play options right off the bat, which is really nice. So we're going to start from the bottom. So Sirius Symboli here is just here because she has speed bonus on a Guts card, so if you have nothing else, you can use her. It's the same with Enos Fusion and Brass Wonder, where these cards have 5 race bonus, so they're a bit harder to fit into a deck. You need to do some like compensation work if you really want to run these cards. Airgroove, however, with 10 race bonus is pretty nice. She's a bit weaker on the stats side, but she is absolutely runnable. Then moving up to the A tier, all of these cards have 10 race bonus. Winning Ticket has an acceleration for late surges, though she does share that with Nice Nature, which reduces her value somewhat. Mijiro Ryan. Yep, just another card where it's not really that great because Unyielding needs to get its buff in. We don't have the buff version of Unyielding, so it's a bad gold skill, so it doesn't make it that great. Though she does have a pretty high initial friendship, but who does even better than that is Yukino Bijin, who comes with 40, which is pretty freaking amazing. Her gold skill, Connoisseur, is a bait skill. You just can't control the activation of it, so it's not really very useful as an acceleration, unfortunately. But she was a free-to-play card, so you're going to see a lot of her if people are running Guts decks, and people are running Guts decks and having a lot of success with them. Bakushin gives groundwork, which is pretty amazing. It's going to be really nice for front runners because you can just throw her in a deck and it's going to be pretty easy. But her main thing is that she is just giving you groundwork. And then Haru Urara, free-to-play card as well, pretty helpful. Just the best gut statistic in the game. Ayambe Maya Vega, she has 15 race bonus, 20 initial friendship. Kind of been a bit harder to pull than expected, so that's a bit sad, but she is absolutely overpowered for an SR card, so that is really good. And then Akuna Dictus at the top because she has 15 race bonus. As I explained, race bonus is extra stats. It lets you, be a lot more flexible with your deck building, so that just makes her amazing. And 30 initial friendship, so she is really, really, really good. Starting from the bottom this time, the Satono Diamond Wit card that we got for free isn't really that good. It's got 5% race bonus. It does have a heal for late surges, which is that nice, but it's just kind of a bit weak overall. Majuro Doba Wedding, 10% race bonus is why she is here, and that just makes her viable in TrackBlazer. I keep wanting to call it man. It's really hard. I thought that I would change by now, but no. Mihono Bourbon is still going to be something that every front runner is going to need to fit into the deck somehow. She's got 5 race bonus, which kind of makes her an issue for deck building. So you're going to probably need to put a 15% rate bonus card in somewhere, which is annoying. Yukino Bijin, no stopping me. That's the only reason why she's here. She's like, look at my gold skill. You want my gold skill? That's the only thing that she has to offer you. 5% race bonus, kind of an issue, and the rest of her stats are not great. Blind Motion, Marvelous Sunday, and Agnes Tachyon are both great SS cards. You can just run these, and they will do you like a lot of good. A lot of good. Marvelous Sunday, Agnes Tachyon. If you're a free-to-play player, this is going to be a combo that you are going to get very well used to. The Rita Taishin, heal for enclosed players, very nice speed bonus, helpful on Umas because it's very hard to build Umas that don't have a speed aptitude right now, so anything that you can throw their way, very, very nice. Karen, most of the time you're not going to even take a gold skill, you're just like end her chain at the first event, take the 30 energy, take playtimes over, which is a really strong skill, and you'd be very happy with that. She's really nice in that her specialty priority 65, so she just shows up all the time, gives you loads of energy. Would almost be an S tier, but just doesn't quite have the stat output that the cards in S tier have. Fine Motion, still the highest individual output out of any Wit card, so that makes her amazing. She has 10 race bonus, so she passes the go test. But Nice Nature has 15, so that's why she is slightly higher here, because as we are valuing race bonus above everything, she is amazing. But ideally, you can make Nice Nature, Agnes Tachyon, Marvelous Sunday work, or you could do the same with Fine Motion. Either is absolutely awesome. Then Power cards, yep, is Riko Kashimoto, SSR or bust. She's the only one that has 10 race bonus. Rare version does have 5. Not worth taking. The rest of them, they forgot to have any race bonus, so they can all go sit in the F tier where they belong. The only one you should consider is Riko Kashimoto. She is actually useful because you can do a lot of cheese with recreation. You just take that, and that's enough energy for 2 races if you just take the top option every time. So Riko Kashimoto, even though it's not Unity Cup, she's still nice though. She can always glue your run, so hate her for that. Do not like picking the top option. It's objectively the best because the energy is so helpful. It feels like anytime you have a good run, she just loves to glue it. But superstition aside, she is an absolute great card. She's really good for helping you with stamina and managing your energy. So yeah. The one thing I want to say is that double power deck building is basically dead. We can't do it anymore because we just don't have the time to do the recreations, aside from the fact that none of these cards have race bonus, so we wouldn't take any of the ones in F tier. That is just going to be something going forward, and we'll also be getting group cards, so those are going to be cards that we're going to want to do recreation with instead. Going to be the team card. I think it's Team Serious, not Team Speaker. I think it's Team Serious, and then the Thrones Assemblage group card, so you'd be using those instead of Rico, so that would be what would make her fall off in this scenario, but you can use her for now. She's absolutely good. Awesome, so that is every card type talked about, as well as what the sort of stats we want to be aiming for in TrackBlazer, so that is actually everything you need to know to build a deck, basically. Some last minute tips. make sure you are synergizing with your sparks. So for example, if we're bringing power cards, for example, we're bringing 1 to 2 power cards, we're going to use stamina sparks to make sure that we're getting high stamina. If we are using like an all guts deck, we want to again be considering using stamina sparks, potentially using some speed sparks just to make sure that we are hitting our stat targets. We want to synergize with our Uma Musume's growth rate. So for example, if we have a 20% speed Uma, we should realistically only be bringing 2 speed cards if we are good on speed cards. If we got weaker speed cards, if you're a newer player, you might want to bring 3, but ideally you'd only bring 2. If that's a 0% growth, you can bump that up to 3 of a card, but you could also do 2 and just feel lucky. But I think for most players, if you have a 0% speed growth Uma, you're going to feel pretty comfortable with 3. I would really recommend that you never bring 4 of a card type. I don't think that's needed. And then just consider the role that some cards are going to have for energy management. This is going to be cards like Matakane Speed, your Power cards, and your Wit cards. And the more cards that you can put into your deck that are going to help you manage energy in this scenario are going to be very, very helpful to you. And that's it. That's all we have time for today. I did want to mention, while I was editing this, another YouTuber that I follow also released a TrackBlazer card guide, so I'm going to link that so you can watch that after if you're interested. They normally put out pretty good content. I haven't watched it myself yet just because I didn't want to have their opinions kind of like change mine, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm trying to grow my channel right now, so any engagement you can throw my way is been really helpful. It's been super helpful, to be honest. It's been really awesome. And yeah, if you like this video, I hopefully will see you in future ones. But until then, peace.